Before the sun crested the horizon on July 2, 2025, the world was still cloaked in darkness, unaware that history was about to pivot in a single, breathtaking moment. While cities slumbered and streets lay empty, a seismic shift in global power was already underway, unfolding quietly, while most of humanity dreamed. In total secrecy, the U.S. Navy unleashed 70 Tomahawk cruise missiles, their fiery trails slicing through the night, striking with pinpoint accuracy before anyone could react. No warnings, no declarations, just a thunderous statement delivered in minutes, its impact reverberating across continents and rattling the world's military and political elite. Experts and analysts were left reeling, scrambling to comprehend how such a complex, coordinated assault could unfold with such flawless execution. These missiles, hugging the ocean's surface and slipping beneath radar, revealed a new level of stealth and technological prowess, pushing the boundaries of what modern warfare can achieve. The attack shattered long-held beliefs about conflict, proving that decisive, world-altering action could now unfold before anyone even realized a war had begun. In this new era, surprise itself is the deadliest weapon. The United States demonstrated its reach, capable of striking any adversary anywhere with almost no warning. Rivals were left stunned, allies awestruck. This was more than a strike. It was the unveiling of a new doctrine, where the element of surprise is weaponized, and the rules of engagement are rewritten for a new age. Now, the world must grapple with a future where the most decisive battles may be over before the first headline breaks, where each dawn could usher in a new era of uncertainty and rapid transformation. Months of mounting hostility between Washington and Moscow set the stage for this dramatic strike. Russia's bold military maneuvers and relentless cyber offensives drove relations to a breaking point. In response, NATO and US forces ramped up their own deployments, each escalation tightening the spiral of confrontation. Waves of sanctions, retaliatory measures, and ongoing cyber clashes blurred the boundaries between peace and open conflict. Diplomatic efforts crumbled as both sides dug in, their rhetoric growing sharper and more uncompromising. For the US, Russia's provocations were seen as a direct challenge to American resolve, not just policy. Simply defending was no longer sufficient. The very concept of deterrence needed to be reimagined. The White House determined that only a swift, decisive move could restore the balance of power. The world held its breath, unaware that the coming spark would be 70 missiles unleashed in the dark. The moment had arrived for a strike that would send shockwaves across the globe. The moment that set everything in motion wasn't a dramatic invasion or the roar of guns on a battlefield. Instead, it was a silent conflict beneath the ocean's surface, a high-stakes contest between the world's most formidable navies, hidden from public view. In late June, a critical undersea cable, responsible for carrying the lifeblood of global finance and daily communications between North America and Europe, was intentionally cut. The world's markets and governments were thrown into chaos. All evidence pointed to a Russian submarine, operating in the shadows, sending a chilling message with its actions. But the true escalation came when a US Navy patrol ship, sent to investigate the sabotage, was struck by a cutting-edge electronic weapon. 2 American sailors lost their lives and the world was left in shock. This was the breaking point, an assault not just on infrastructure but on American lives. The demand for action was immediate and undeniable. Inside the White House, the president and top advisors faced a grave decision: retaliate with force and risk a wider conflict, or hesitate and risk emboldening their adversary. The objective was unmistakable: deliver a powerful, focused blow that would punish those responsible, send a clear warning, and avoid triggering a global war. Intelligence quickly pinpointed Russian naval installations directly linked to the attack as the prime targets for a rapid and decisive response. The president's team dismissed the slow grind of sanctions and the risks of overt airstrikes. Neither would send the message needed. Only a covert, overwhelming missile barrage, one that would leave no doubt about America's resolve, could meet the gravity of the moment. The operation was crafted with precision, unmistakable in its intent but carefully limited in scope, a calculated act of retribution, not a step toward all-out war. The National Security Council moved quickly, united in the belief that only decisive action could restore deterrence and prevent further aggression. The United States would strike with force and accuracy, showing both its strength and its restraint, determined to restore the balance of power. As the world learned of the unfolding crisis, a collective breath was held. Everyone knew the consequences of crossing America's line would soon be revealed. The countdown had begun. The stage was set for one of the most daring and consequential military actions in recent history, forever altering the landscape of global security. The groundwork for this mission was laid long before tensions reached their breaking point. Months of quiet preparation, exhaustive scenario planning, and relentless wargaming shaped every aspect of the operation. Each variable was dissected, every risk weighed by the Navy's sharpest minds. The Navy's covert Ghost Fleet protocol slipped into action. Destroyers and submarines already on patrol faded into the night, their positions concealed by darkness and the endless expanse of the ocean. Only a privileged few senior commanders were briefed on the true objective. Secrecy was paramount, with information tightly compartmentalized to eliminate any chance of exposure. Some ships simulated technical malfunctions or simply disappeared from tracking screens, communicating only through encrypted bursts. Even the most mundane transmissions were shrouded in digital camouflage. To outside observers, their actions appeared routine, nothing out of the ordinary to alert Russian surveillance teams scanning the waves. Crews maintained strict silence, executing their duties with precision and without question. Most remained in the dark about the mission's true nature until the final moments, preserving secrecy at every tier. The entire operation hinged on absolute discipline, seamless deception, and perfect timing. Every move was choreographed down to the second. Deep within U.S. Strategic Command in Nebraska, launch windows were synchronized across oceans, guaranteeing that every missile would hit its mark within minutes, delivering maximum shock and surprise. What began as a dispersed fleet transformed into a unified, invisible force, poised to strike with surgical accuracy from the shadows. Every procedure, from navigation to missile arming, was drilled relentlessly. Perfection was the only standard. The world's most advanced navy was about to showcase the true essence of modern warfare, power wielded with stealth and the mastery of the unseen blow. Slipping past Russia's watchful eyes demanded a masterstroke of cunning and technology. The labyrinth of Russian sensors was met with a symphony of misdirection and silence. American drones and electronic warfare planes conjured ghost armadas, luring Russian focus far from the true threat. Beneath the waves, Virginia-class submarines glided undetected, threading the needle toward their launch points. Electronic illusions flooded Russian screens, drowning analysts in a sea of phantom echoes. The strike unfolded beneath a cloak of darkness and storm, nature itself joining the ruse to blind Russian sensors. Tomahawks skimmed the waves, slipping through radar shadows, invisible until it was too late. Every element, wind, tide, the silent drift of satellites, was woven into the plan, sharpening the element of surprise. When the truth dawned in Russian command centers, the missiles were already screaming through the night. The air was electric with anticipation. Every sailor and officer braced for what was about to unfold. Orders came through, launch codes double-checked and confirmed across encrypted lines. With synchronized precision, commanders twisted their keys. There was no reversing the decision now. On the destroyers, hatches yawned open, and tomahawks screamed into the night one after another. From the depths, submarines unleashed their payloads, missiles burst from the sea in blazing arcs. In less than 90 seconds, a torrent of missiles filled the sky, a relentless wave of precision strikes. Each weapon hugged the earth, weaving through valleys and over hills, guided by real-time GPS updates. Some missiles split off, taking unexpected routes to their targets, saturating defenses from every angle. For the next 60 minutes, 70 autonomous missiles glided silently toward their objectives. The world's most sophisticated arsenal was unleashed, unstoppable, invisible, and deadly. The message was unmistakable. The US could strike anywhere, at any moment, with overwhelming force. The aftermath was stark. Devastation lay everywhere the eye could see. In less than 60 seconds, 70 missiles found their marks, erasing Russian naval strongholds, command centers, and critical electronic warfare assets. Overhead, satellites captured the transformation. Once bustling installations reduced to ruins, fuel depots ablaze, yet civilian zones remained untouched. Russian defenses designed for high-altitude threats were powerless against the Tomahawk's silent, sea-skimming approach. Uncertainty gripped Moscow. Hours passed before the source of the assault became clear. This confusion was no accident. It was a calculated move by the US, buying precious time and preventing an immediate Russian response. The operation struck directly at the perpetrators of the Atlantic incident, delivering a pointed warning. It was a measured act, retaliatory, not escalatory, leaving open the door for dialogue. Russia denounced the strike, but stopped short of further action, mindful of the technological gap. As the world absorbed the shock, diplomatic channels flickered back to life, shaped by the sobering new balance of power. In a single night, the balance of military might was transformed forever. The age of lumbering armies and drawn-out standoffs is giving way to a new paradigm, where agility, invisibility, and pinpoint accuracy reign supreme. The United States demonstrated that even the most fortified defenses can be outmaneuvered and struck in utter silence. Adversaries are now compelled to reimagine their doctrines, prioritizing early warning and adaptability over sheer numbers. This operation sparks urgent debate about the nature of deterrence and the risks of rapid, ambiguous conflict in a hyper-connected world. America has redefined what it means to deter, setting the stage for a race in stealth innovation and the technologies designed to unmask it. July 2, 2025 didn't just change the calendar, it ushered in an era where unseen forces and digital shadows may determine the destiny of nations. The challenge ahead: to navigate a future where the opening move could decide everything and where peace depends on our ability to adapt.